Good morning. Welcome back. Today, I have the pleasure of chatting with the fabulous Fiona, the chaos calmer for busy families. She's a professional organiser and founder of Professionally Sorted, working across Kent and East Sussex to help time-poor mums reclaim their home and sanity. Whether it's a cluttered kitchen, a toy tornado, or a wardrobe that's seen better days, Fiona brings calm, clarity, and a no-judgment approach. So thank you so much for joining me, Fiona. How are you? How's it all going?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. Before we get stuck into the chaos and calm, let's just go back a bit, Fiona. So what really made you decide to start a professional organising business in the first place? So I know you did Organiser Business Blueprint with me back in September, also called Set Up and Start Your Professional Organising Business back then. So what was going on in your life at the time that made you say, yes, I am doing this, I want to start this business? I'd love to know.
So I think I've always been quite organised naturally. I've been a teacher for a long time, and so you had to be incredibly organised, incredibly patient, very motivating. There's all those sorts of skills that are all part of being a teacher. And I think when I had my children, although I loved teaching, I kind of just loved organising even more. And then I discovered a course that I did back last year, and that was learning how to be an organiser. A couple of my friends who I used to teach with did it, recommended it, and I've never looked back.
Amazing. Cool. So let's just start with the big one. So why do so many busy families feel like they're constantly chasing their tails at home? Like what's really behind the daily chaos? What do you feel is behind it?
Well, first of all, life is just very busy, isn't it? It's busy as a mum, it's busy, whoever you are, life is just really busy. I think a lot of the things I see are distractions. There are so many distractions now. Social media being one of them.
Yeah.
I won't talk about it for too long, but yeah, social media is definitely, it's an angel and it's also a devil. So it's both things,
Yeah.
use it, we love it, but also it just sucks our time. People learn saying no. We always feel like we have to people please and say yes. So you're always saying yes to that play date, yes to that social event. And actually it's okay to say no and be at home and not be busy and just completely calendar, just constantly busy full of stuff. And if you're out all the time, you're not able to manage your home. You're not being at home. You're not doing all the things that really we probably did about 25 years ago. Now it's just life is crazy. I think also a lack of structure is one thing. Structure is so important. It's often something that gets overlooked, particularly for families, their routine, small things like where to put your book bag and your school shoes when you come in. Those small things can cause so much stress in the morning. So we always do that in our home. That's one thing we always do. And my kids know where to put them and they go there every day. It's taken some training, but it's worth it. It's a good habit to have.
Yeah. Definitely. Lost school and nursery stuff in the morning is not the one, is it? It's
No,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, and you're so right. Like, however many years ago, I think it was just so much easier to actually do stuff. Now it's almost like I feel like it's a luxury when I actually can just be at home and like sort stuff out. Like, literally, it's so crazy. It's just like, it's weird that it's almost a thing that you you look forward to now. And it's almost like kind of sad, but we're just all, drowning. So, yeah, having an organized home is so important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Amazing. So for all the busy mums and families and parents listening who might feel a bit embarrassed or even like ashamed about the state of their home, what would you say to them?
I think it is perfectly normal to feel ashamed. I definitely used to feel ashamed. Having kids, it is totally chaotic. And it's about being realistic about what you can achieve. It's normal for your house to feel chaotic, but it's always about having the right systems in place. And that's something as a professional organiser we come in and do. We come in and make things easy, make things straightforward. You'll always be able to see what you own completely. You can see it. There's nothing tucked away. Everything's labelled. Everything has a place. And that's the most important thing. And that's often what causes a lot of stress for families, is not being able to find their things or even knowing what they've got in the first place. So don't feel ashamed.
So, exactly. And literally so many people are in the same boat. I think it's actually more normal to be like that than not. There's really not that many people who actually have a completely tidy, organized home, like especially if they haven't had the help of someone like you, professional organizer. How do you help your clients, the ones who are holding on to things just in case or because they feel guilty of letting go? That's a common one, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is a common one. I think I quite often use the 90-90 rule, which is, have you used it in the last 90 days and will you use it in the next 90 days? So often we talk about, as organisers, we talk about using changeover and switchover. So we might switch over our spring wardrobe for our summer wardrobe. Then you're not finding hats while you're finding sun cream. Everything, if it's organised into seasons, it's just so much easier. Yes, it's difficult to get done, but that's where a professional organizer coming into your home to help you put those systems in place will be, it's the best money you can spend if it's something that you struggle
Yeah.
with, definitely. You know, you hear so many excuses. One I heard recently, and actually I'm going to do a post about it hopefully next week, is found a pot of candle wax and it was on the kitchen side. And I said to the mum, I said, "What is this?" And she said, "Oh, it's candle wax." And I said, "Oh, right. So we'll probably need to get rid of that. And can you give me a reason why it's there?" And then when she told me, I said, "No, we can't get rid of that." And so it was actually because she's a farmer's wife. She was looking after all these duck eggs, and they were in this kind of incubator on the side. And so one of her kids
Yeah.
came up, cracked the egg whilst it was obviously still incubating. Then she put the
Yeah.
candle wax over the top, and actually it sealed it, and then it hatched about 2 weeks later. So I was like, "Actually, you know, you've totally got a valid reason, that's fine." But it was just a really funny one, and we had so many giggles about it because I thought most people wouldn't need that in their home, it's clutter. But actually for her and her life, it's not.
So funny. That's the most like out there one I've heard. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And yay that the egg hatched. Oh, that's
And
so
it
sweet. Oh my God. Yeah, amazing. And that also shows how a good professional organizer and declutterer will actually really, it's really tailored to the client. We don't just like come in and just throw all your stuff away. Like a big fear that a lot of clients have, like, "Oh, are you going to make me throw everything away?" Like, and we're
definitely.
not. You know, we're gonna recommend obviously that you're not keeping everything because otherwise you're not gonna be able to organize a house. But yeah, I love that. Oh my goodness, amazing, great advice. So I was gonna say, can you share a story of a client transformation that you know that really stuck with you? Maybe that's one of them, although it's not really a transformation, but it's quite a funny one. Uh, but you know, really, you know, a transformation that really kind of went way beyond just the physical space, and you know, actually like something more deep.
Yeah, so I worked with a family who had 3 children. Both parents were busy working, and they kind of were just really just drowning in stuff, which is it's a common thing that you kind of come across. But it was quite extreme. This house, they had moved in, and they hadn't really had time to set up things. They've got 3 kids in school, both really busy. And a lot of the rooms you just couldn't get into. So when I went in, the first room I did, we did a room upstairs and we did a bedroom together, and then they couldn't get in the spare room, but the spare room had a feeding chair. But her children are now, you know, her youngest is 6, so obviously they don't use the feeding chair anymore. So we talked about moving that out, and I went back. She ended up being a repeat client, so I went back and moved her a chair out, fixed that, and we've tried to get rid of that. And it was just all these things that she said, "I just feel like if I just moved that chair, it would have opened up the room, and then I could, you know, go in and make that room, give it a purpose, etc." And so I just think I've got so many nice texts from her. She said, "You've really changed my space, my house. It's turning into a home rather than just being these huge dumping grounds." She said, "I've just got the mental capacity now to deal with things." We talk about, again, as organisers, we talk a lot about the physical clutter, but actually, if the physical clutter is always going to be there and it doesn't get removed, it mentally clogs you up. And I know that from my own home. If things aren't tidy when I go to put the kids to bed, I can't cope. I can't think about work or other things I need to do because I'm thinking about the tidying I need to do. And it's not to be perfect, but
Yeah.
it's just clear services, etc. And those sorts of clients, you really see the benefit, and you really see how you can really just change the way they look at everything. She just said, I've got clarity, you know, you get what we need. And I'm just so glad that we've hired you to come in, and it's those sorts of clients are just, it's incredible. It's life changing for them.
Yeah, amazing. Oh, it sounds, yeah, like you did such a good job. And it is like that, isn't it? Again, a lot of people tend to think that having a professional organizer is something like for celebrities or like an Instagram
Oh,
thing where you're just buying really expensive storage and making everything look perfect. And it's literally not. I mean, I guess the same for you, but for me, I probably had less than 5% of clients that were actually like that. And everyone else was just normal, like us, just normal people, just too busy, not enough time. Like, and that's a big thing. It's because our industry, it is compared to like your plumber or something like that, it is still a relatively new industry, and people just don't understand what it is. There's just so much on social media that makes it look like perfection, and it's just not
mm,
like that. Your house is where you spend arguably the majority of your time, right? And it's also your biggest investment, whether you own it or you're renting. And so why the hell do you not make it support you? You know, nothing has to be matching, but it just has to work, right? And yeah. Anyway, I'm obviously very passionate about, but it does. It totally changes your life. Like,
it
anyway.
does.
Oh, that's amazing. Amazing. And you obviously did a great job because they kept booking you. So well done. I love that.
Yeah. Oh, no, they're a lovely family.
Good. So what is your process like? So when you walk into a home for the first time, like if you've not been there and done a consultation before, and maybe if your client hasn't come to you saying a specific room that they want to work on, but maybe like their whole house needs doing. So how do you decide where to start without overwhelming them?
So a common place to start, particularly for families, is the kitchen. It's the heart of the home. It's the hub of the home. It's where you will spend most of your time, really. And so you're in it, whether you think you're going to be in it every day or not, you are. You're in there at least 3 times a day, eating or whatever it might be. That is the hub of the home. So I've always recommend that we start there. And then once that's organised, that often you find piles of bits of stuff. And then you think, right, well, that needs a space. So last week I was doing a lovely kitchen and there were just
Yeah.
piles of kids' stuff all over the place. And she said, "Oh, I just don't know where they're going to go." I said, "Well, let's look at your hallway." So we looked at the hallway, and then we talked about the hallway and the, under the cupboard, under the stairs, and how we can use that space. And that's always where I start. However, when I go in, I do ask, "What bothers you the most? Which room is it that you feel you can't get in or you can't cope with or just drives you mad?" But often it leads starting with the kitchen. I guess that's probably something as a professional organizer yourself, you've also, I guess that's also what you found too, right?
Yeah, often definitely like the kitchen. And I think also bedroom is another place because that's actually, if you don't sleep well, that affects everywhere. And so bedrooms, especially for like mums where we're always putting everyone first, maybe dads as well, but we speak a lot to mums, don't we? But yeah, so yeah, definitely. But kitchen really, like you said, everyone's in there all day, not all day, every day, at least 2 times a day. And also food. We love food. So how do you help the families that you work with to actually maintain the systems that you put in place? Like, as we know, life gets really hectic. And so how kind of, what do you do to help them with that?
So I think when I'm putting the systems in place, we talk a lot to clients about, how they use their space. And so when we're setting it up, it needs to work for them. So for instance, a kitchen, do you use it for hosting? Do you use it for baking lots? Like, what is it that you use it for? So when we're setting up systems in homes, that is the key thing. Like we say, like we was just saying earlier, it's not about what you think should be in there. It's what about works for the client. So when we've done all those things, I often do a follow-up text. Sometimes I do an email. And actually clients really appreciate that. They might talk about different struggles they've had and what else I can suggest to help them with. And actually I did a kitchen it's like a kitchen pantry it's last December. And the mum texted me saying, "Oh, Fiona, I really need some more labels. I've been doing my own kind of new systems and decluttering. Can you post them to me?" Which I did do. I wouldn't normally do, but she needed some new things. So she'd obviously, she had her own reshuffle, and I just thought, amazing. She obviously got the decluttering and organising bug, and so once she got her systems in place, and she was kind of just changing it all, it's nice to be able to help her, and it's lovely to hear from people as well. So, yeah.
Oh, amazing. That's so nice. Yeah. I think the big thing though, once you've actually got it done, it's the point of it is it's so much easier to maintain, isn't it? It's, especially when it's labeled. And I don't know about you, but I have always found that clients, not everyone, but like quite a few clients will say, no, I don't want it labeled. Like, I don't want labels on there. Like, but actually it's so helpful. And, even if they know where the stuff is, it's just so much easier for the family because the rest of otherwise you've got to keep reminding people where things go, especially if you've moved everything. Just having labels, the amount of times I've had husbands come up to me and be like, "I actually love the labels, like I thought it was it's so funny, it's so funny." Yeah, no
Absolutely, yeah.
labels, and if they look nice, it's a bonus. Right?
It is, exactly, yeah. It's not always about being aesthetically pleasing, it's a bonus. Like you say, it's not a celebrity household we're always doing, or if at all, it's making sure that it works for whoever that family is, and that's the most important thing, that's why we do it.
Yeah, definitely. Labels especially are so good for kids as well. And also anyone like neurodivergent clients, ADHD, like you just know that it's there and you're like, right, I need to just put that away. So yeah,
Yeah.
love the labels. Cool. Do you have any go-to tips or quick wins that listeners could try today to just feel a little bit more in control of their space?
So I've got two actually, two that I always do. So I regularly declutter. So I regularly do it once a month. Usually, it might be the kids, wardrobe or whatever it might be. I've got young kids, so they're always growing out of their clothes, etc. And I think that's important. It helps you maintain and keep on top of things, which is key. Otherwise, you do end up being absolutely drowned in stuff. And it's so easy, particularly with when you've got children. But the one thing I do use is a little rule, which I'm sure again, if you follow lots of organisers, you'll know this rule. It's don't put it down, put it away. And so my kids are always saying to me, "Mummy, don't put it down, put it away." My keys when I come in or whatever. And they do stick to it. They've started to tidy up. Yes, they're only 2 and 5.5, but they understand the importance of that and the frustrations when they can't find things. If you just do that, you just don't lose stuff. It's magic.
It is, totally. And that becomes a lot easier when you do actually have a place to put it. And sometimes people will say, oh, like, well, there's almost no point in doing that until it's set up, or like, I can't do that until it's set up. But actually, it's also just not being in that perfection, like, oh, I can't do anything until it's all sorted. But also, I love that about the kids. Like, Ottilie, for me, she's similar age to your youngest. She's 2.5. And she loves it. She's always like, "Oh, we're gonna do some decluttering today, mummy." Like, it's like hilarious. But if you do get them involved, they will help. Like, so many people on my social media say, like, how do you get her to join in? You just get them involved. Like, yeah, you just do, and they just do it. And if they see it as like a fun thing, but if you're acting all like, oh, this is it's horrid, this is like the most horrid thing in the world, I hate doing this, then they're gonna learn that as well. So even if you do hate it, pretend that you don't, and then
Exactly.
they'll get involved.
Yeah, it's like a fake it till you make it, really, isn't it? It's children. I think people are sometimes
100%.
afraid. They're afraid to sort of get their children involved in things they think they won't enjoy, but actually you don't know they're not going to enjoy it until they start doing it. I mean, my kids do really like doing it. Erin particularly really loves doing those sorts of things. And my youngest one now is beginning to do tidy up, and she likes to do things at the end of the day like that. Mummy, I must tidy up. And actually, I caught her a couple of weeks ago in the car, and she was singing Old MacDonald, but she was saying, rather than the animal noise, she was saying with a declutter here and a declutter there. And I caught it, and it was just the funniest thing. She changed the words because my eldest had. I mean, she hadn't, she's 2, but it was so funny. They've got the bug. They're obviously hearing all the things I'm saying and talking about. So there's hope.
Yeah, oh my goodness. It is. And also, kids just want to be around you, like they just, you sometimes feel like as parents that you feel guilty of, I don't want to have to waste time or spend time cleaning up or tidying when I'm with my kids and I should be doing something fun. But actually, your kids just want to be around you. You don't have to always go out and go to blooming soft play or whatever. Like, and they actually prefer that. You're not sat there on your phone, you're actually doing something with them. And that's, yeah. Anyway, I'm definitely not a parenting expert, but I've just kind of learned that along the way. Cool. So some people tend to feel like, oh, I should be able to do this myself, right? So like, what would you say to someone who is feeling guilty about needing help, or like feeling like they need or want help? What would you say to them?
I think it's totally normal, and it's normal also to feel guilty, about asking someone to come in and organise your home when, you could do it. I mean, you could do it, but actually for some people it's just too overwhelming, and that's okay. We all have our strengths, we all have our weaknesses. But I think it's a strength if you're able to ask for help and you're able to book an organiser and get someone to come in and help. Even if it's just one room in your home, that can often spur you on to, to get the rest of the house done. But a recent client, sorry, that I worked with, was actually so quick at decluttering and getting rid of things. And once I'd organised alongside her in the space in the house, she actually said to me, "Yeah, this is the best money I've ever spent, Fiona." And I said, "That's amazing." I think people, like you say, people don't really understand this profession. They think it's not a profession, but actually it is life-changing for so many families. And I think if people begin to understand that and see the benefits of decluttering and organising, it just makes your life so much richer in so many ways. So I think it's really important to sort of stress that when people are thinking, I don't need an organiser, but actually you might do. And that's okay. It's okay to book one and reach out.
Yeah, 100%. Because back in the 50s or whatever, there was not so much going on. And actually, okay, like obviously I won't get into the politics of it, but generally the man would go to work, the woman would stay at home, do all the housework, do all the cleaning, look after the kids. But now as women, we generally still have the kind of lion's share of that, and definitely the mental load of it, but we
Yeah.
also work full time. And so
Yeah.
actually it's joke to think that you can do everything. You can't. It's
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous. You know, even with a mostly tidy and pretty organized and clutter-free home like I have and you have, it's
Yeah.
still well, arguably it's impossible to still get everything done. And so imagine having a house full of crap, like on top of that. You can't. It's wild. You know, all the benefits. I mean, I've spoken so many times about the benefits of decluttering and having a clutter-free home on here, so I won't go into it. All the listeners know, but like there are so many benefits, and actually the amount of money that you save and recoup from having your home organized, it pays for it tenfold, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, it's such an investment. And, you know, people spend lots of money on clothes and all sorts of things and it gets worn once and that's that. Actually, an investment in having someone like myself or you come in and actually organise your home is just, it's just beyond anything. It's so beneficial. And I can't recommend it enough, particularly if people are really sitting on the fence about it. I've had so many people, well, I say so many people, I've had several people recently who have got it, reached out to me. I'm not fully booked, but I've had several people reach out to me recently saying, I'm thinking about booking you. What
Yeah.
will you come and do for me? How will you help me? And once we talked it through, actually, 3 out of the 3 people, one person did go ahead and book, and the other people I know are thinking about it, and that's okay. It is a lot of money, but like we say, it's an investment. So if you're thinking about it, really do think about it. How is it going to change your life? How will it benefit you? You know, and actually, once you get somebody in, it's just so good. It's just the best thing. It really is. I can't recommend it enough. So yeah.
Yeah, totally. When you actually understand what's involved, I would argue that it's not a lot of money because
Yeah.
it's not. It's the amount of value that you're getting back. But I think when people don't understand it, and also it's what's your time worth, right? As in like them. Like if you don't have time to do it, then you're just going to continue struggling and struggling and struggling, you know? So yeah, it's one of those things that people just don't understand the value of it because it's not still that common. So people just find it difficult to understand. I was literally just going to ask you about if people are worried about the investment or feeling like it's a luxury, but we've kind of covered that. So, so yeah, I suppose it's just really understanding what you're going to get out of it, what you're going to benefit from it as a client. Do you want to stay stuck for the rest of your life? But I think it's so much of it, or not. I know it's such a deeper issue. It's about worth, and it's about feeling like you're worth it. It's much, much easier. It's a different mindset to go and spend 300 quid on an outfit for a wedding, right? Which we were actually talking about before we started recording, that you're literally going to wear once, but because you're like, oh, well, I need that. I have to have it. But as humans and normal people, right, we find it so much easier to buy liabilities than assets, right? It's so much easier to buy something that is really not going to do anything to change your life versus investing in yourself. It's exactly the same if you're thinking about doing a course or whatever it is, something that feels a bit hard, something that means that you have to change as a person and step out of your comfort zone. It feels hard because you're like, oh, well, I've got to step up and do that. It's much easier to just get on Amazon and just buy something.
Yeah.
And that is the difference. And so many people find it really, really difficult to actually, you know,
Yeah, totally. I think you make a really good point. Sorry there. Sorry, Amy. I was going to say people are kind of apprehensive because it's facing hard decisions when you have a perfect stranger in your home. But actually, a professional organizer, when they come in with a non-judgmental slant. They're not coming in saying, "Oh my gosh, look at the mess. Look at like this is gross." What I think to myself is, I can't wait to transform this room. Every single time I go into someone's house, however dirty it is, however cluttered it is, to me, it's like the best. I can't wait to get started. So I think if you can bear that in mind when you've got someone coming round, I think that's so important. We want the best for you. We want the best for your home, and this service, it can be life changing when you choose to invest it. So I think that's a really good point to make.
Yeah, totally. It's that whole thing about investing in something that's going to actually change your life as opposed to just consumerism, isn't it? But
Yeah, definitely.
we've all been like crap instead of, things like experiences or whatever. Cool. Amazing. I love that. So, if one of our lovely listeners is in your area and they want to work with you, Fiona, what do you kind of specifically offer? And also, how can they get in touch with you? Like, or where can they follow you? Just let us know, and we'll also add it in the description and show notes as well.
Great. I'm based in the Kent on the Kent and Sussex border, so I cover both East Sussex and Kent. You can find me on my website at www.professionallysorted.com. You can find me on Instagram as well, which is professionally_sorted. I also on Facebook, and the links I think Amy will share. So I can help you declutter. I can help you organise. And when we say organise and declutter, that's for anything. It could be your garage, it could be your garden shed filled with spiders. I've recently done one last week. There was so many spiders. I can
You get cobwebs in your hair.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I managed to like escape those, thankfully. But there were some really big ones. I got the Hoover out. Yeah, so I can do any room. There is no space that I won't do. Kitchens, bathrooms, bedrooms, playrooms, whatever it might be, laundry rooms, nothing is off the table. If you're having a new baby and you need a new setup, let me know. I can come and sort your room and get it all ready so that, after you've got given birth, you come home, you can have your room ready with everything's ready for you, which is, again, it's priceless. I'm also offering a new service, which is to help you prepare your home for sale. So if you are looking to sell and you've got clutter, and people, when they look around, they don't want to see that. They want to be able to see what storage they've got. That's something that people always look for. I did when I was buying. So if that's something you're doing, I can come and help you do that. So all those things I'm able to do, but I've had requests for all sorts of things. So get in touch if you've got something that I haven't mentioned, because we can always work together to help you organise that. So yeah, thank you.
Amazing. And yeah, with getting your house ready for sale, it's amazing the difference it makes. Like the latest kind of figures that I have kind of looked up, that it puts about 8% onto your house, onto the market value.
Oh,
House
wow,
is
I didn't know that. That's incredible.
yeah. And I've always done that. Like when I've sold my houses in the past, like staged it immaculately, because we have vision, right? But like a lot of people don't. And if they go into a house and it's a hot mess, people will offer so much less because they think there's all these problems. And like you said, especially with the storage, like storage that's what everyone wants, right? And if it looks like there's not enough storage, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's staging is a very, very beneficial thing to do. So that's cool. Love that you're doing that. That's amazing. Ah, cool. Okay, so just a really quick like lightning round then, which I think will be quite fun. So, what is your favorite room to organize and why?
So
If
it's
you have
hard.
one.
Either a kitchen or a playroom. I mean, I love doing playrooms because I used to be a teacher, so I like setting up classrooms, and essentially that is what a playroom is, right? It's just another classroom. So I think probably or a kitchen. A kitchen I just love because we all spend a lot of time in there, so it's something that comes incredibly naturally to me to be able to do that. So I can't choose between two. It's one or the other.
Okay, two. That's fine. You can have two. You can have two. What is one organizing tool or system that you can't live without?
So it's a bit of an obvious one. It's my Nimbot labeler. I love it. You can kind of bespoke label whatever you like, really. You can use icons and all sorts. And you get that out at a client's house and they absolutely love it. They absolutely love it. So they can sort of make the labels that they want. You can't be with that one. I don't know an organizer that doesn't have one. So.
Label makers are the one. Do you know what? I actually don't have a Nimbot. I have a Dymo, and the Nimbot ones are so fancy. Like you can have all pictures and everything. And they have those like vintage looking ones now, don't they? I saw one of it was like a sage green. I was like, well, I need that. That's on brand. Cool. Tea or coffee whilst decluttering or something else?
No, it's a tea. Always a tea. A Yorkshire tea, preferably. I do quite often bring my own bags because I like Yorkshire tea only, but I'll have whatever
Oh
you
my God, that's amazing. What's one thing that you always recommend clients let go of?
unused kitchen gadgets or duplicates. There's always duplicates. You don't need 17 wooden spoons. You just don't. You don't need them. Go and put them in the mud kitchen in another garden. You don't need them.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my God, brilliant. Yeah, totally. And also wooden spoons. Oh my God, some of them, like I can't touch wooden spoons. Is that weird? Some of them are like really, oh, I can't, they make my whole like face go like that. It's so
Oh, really?
funny. The like slightly rough texture. It's awful.
Oh, yeah.
I
No,
can't touch
there must be a name for that
it.
phobia. I don't know what it is, but yeah, there's
I
a
think
name
so.
for it.
It like makes my whole body like it's like convulse, like I just cut off.
Oh,
It's
really? Oh,
horrid. It's like the chalkboard, the nails on the
oh
chalkboard thing,
yeah.
I think that some people have. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like that. And finally, what is one thing that you're really excited about in your business right now?
It's development of new products that I'm working on behind the scenes. I'm hoping to launch them later on this year, but I'm kind of working on a few things behind the scenes. So yeah, those are exciting. And I just think It's just exciting to think a year ago I was doing an organising course, and a years later here I am with a business that's fully up and running. And I just think it's interesting to see where I'm going to be in a year's time again, just reflecting on where what's it going to look like. Will I have an employee? Will I not have an employee? Will I be doing specific things that I'm not offering now? It's just exciting to think where it's going to go. So yeah, very excited.
Oh, it's so exciting. And that's the thing, isn't it, about having your own business? Like, you can literally do whatever you want, essentially, right? There's so many different ways that you can go.
Yeah,
Amazing. And so, just very quickly, because you obviously took the course back in, when was it? September 2024 that you did my
that's right.
program. So, if someone is thinking they've seen it and they're kind of on the fence about doing it, what would you say to them about joining my
I
program?
I would just say do it. You know, it saves you. It's a bit like what you said to us initially. It saves you so much time in all of the kind of nuts and bolts of trying to get launched. That if I didn't do your course, I would probably still be thinking, right, what insurance is it that I need? How do I even build a brand? You know, what colors do I use? You know, you cover absolutely everything. And you also go above and beyond. You're very generous with your time. You're incredibly supportive. You reached out to me at points when after the course, particularly where I wasn't paying for your time. You are genuine, and I think it's very nice to meet someone in business that is genuinely who they say they are, and they really are invested, you know, in your business and how well it will do. So yeah, if you want to do it, book it, definitely book it, and just go for it.
Thank you. Oh, that's so kind. Honestly, yeah, no, I'm definitely invested in your success for sure. Oh, amazing. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me. It was so
Lovely.
lovely to hear from you. Really, really good tips. Hopefully everyone has found it super useful. I have loved it.
Lovely. Thank you to see you again.
And you're welcome. So I trust you found this episode with Fiona useful. And thank you so much for being here and listening in. If you're new or you haven't already, then make sure you're subscribed or follow me wherever you listen to your podcast episodes so that you don't miss the next one. Have a beautiful week, and I will see you next Wednesday for a new episode of the Space Creator Show.